Susan.
So
She's talking about weddings.
I think we got to let at least an hour.
No, I have like my doctor, then I've got this, and I've got that. Citizens Police Academy, so my meeting's planned. David, it's ready. I couldn't believe it.
It's ready for the new year. Are we ready? So why is it?
Oh, there you go. Oh, there you go. Yep.
Okay, we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everybody to our public hearing on our 2023 budgets, and this will also be the first reading of those budgets, and it's a time for you to present your budget, and if anyone has a question, they can ask a question. We're going to begin with the agencies, and we're following the order that they are on our budget book, and except we did switch around for Ride Solutions and SERS. So we're going to begin with Ride Solutions. If you would come up to the podium. Pardon?
There really isn't a page key.
Okay, thank you.
There really isn't.
Hi, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm here representing Ride Solution. Been with them for 20 plus years now. So we've seen it grow and grow, and we're, like I said, we're in 10 counties in Southwest Indiana, and Perry's part of our area. We work with SERS here locally, and we partner with other agencies throughout the other 10 county agencies. But without the local government support, NDOT will not give us matching funds in each county. So it's very important for us to have county support and when we do this. Last year you gave us $6,000, and we are not asking for an increase. We know budgets are tight. We just would like to ask for the same amount for this next year, in 2023. And we have 2 drivers that work for us down in this area, and sometimes we bring more people. I mean, you're going in and out of Perry County quite often, and we do a lot of shopping, employment, doctor visits. It's for the public. It's not for just medical. And a lot of people get that mixed up. We're not a Medicaid provider. We're just public transportation. And a lot of times when new companies come to a new area, or they look to relocate to an area, they're always looking for some of these things that counties have to offer. And when you can say, yes, we have public transportation, that is really a key to relocation for some of the people. So we are proud to be here in Perry County. We've been here 10 years, well, 12 years now. And we appreciate your support, and we would like to ask you to support us next year. Do you have any questions? No.
I've got one question.
Yes.
Not
Sure.
to do with your budget, but it's got to do with your service.
Uh-huh.
We ran into a gentleman the other day that's got doctor appointments in Evansville.
Evansville.
Do you
That's
what-
tough. That's very tough. I mean, we go over to Warwick County. I mean, we can take somebody to Warwick County,
Okay.
and then Warwick County, we have a bus service, and they connect to Mets every hour. So if they're able to
That's
transfer,
what he would be able to.
yeah, you have to be able to transfer.
Okay.
But it's available for some people, and some people use that Mets transfer quite
Yeah.
frequently,
Very
actually. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. So, but, you know, there are special circumstances. I mean, and sometimes we can accommodate them. And we have good drivers here that sometimes really go out of their way. And we've had people that come in that will call us, and they're coming in for a weekend or something, and they have somebody locally here that is in a wheelchair or something. And we had somebody call to ask if we would take them to a church, a reception, a wedding, and everything on the weekend, but they didn't have way to transport their person here in town. And our driver was glad to do that on a Saturday evening and do that for them. So, I mean, we do things out of the ordinary
Sure.
for special people. Not, I mean, everybody's special, but I mean, like I said, some people just don't have
Yeah,
the
sometimes
transportation.
you can pull it off, sometimes
Right.
you can't.
Mhm. So don't be afraid to ask, because maybe we could do it.
I
So,
wasn't afraid to ask.
yeah, I'm glad. Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, we'll take
Thank
your
you.
request under
Thank you.
consideration. Next, we have Life Spring Health Services. Right here. It's not here. Okay, we'll move on to Indiana Region 15.
Evening.
Life.
My name is Lisa Gelhausen. I'm with Indiana 15 Regional Planning Commission. I'm the executive director, been with Indiana 15 for 44 years. And I've handed out a little packet in front of you, and I'd kind of like to go through the sheets. The first one is showing the difference between the 22 and 23 budgets. So Perry County, in 2010, your population was 19,338. And the population went down 168 people. And for the 2020 population of census, it's 19,170. And we base our per capita fee on not only the most current population, it's on a 10-year, every 10 years, and then we take it times the 56 cents per capita. That is not changing from 22 to 23. So the amount went down $94.18. Nothing significant, but that's how it's calculated. And then if I can take you to the green sheets that are before you. And I'm going to go to they're double-sided, so 1, 2, 3, 4. The 6th page where it says 22 and 23 on it. These sheets are from 1998 to current, and it shows what your per capita fees is with the other, compared to the other 5 counties. And so all total, the district, we get $70,000 from our 6 counties. And then the column on the right shows different state and federal grants that have came in. And we're having an excellent year this year of over $15 million of state and federal funding coming to our 6 counties. So very pleased with that annual amount. And if you want to look back at the others, you can see like 21 was 13 million, 2020 was 7 million, and so on. And it just fluctuates with the projects that are coming forth from the communities. And then if I could take you to the, again, it's double-sided, so the last page, the very last page. You saw in the other that for 2022, Perry County's amount was $1,792,649, and I want to explain what makes that up. We do get a planning grant from EDA. INDOT gives us money to do traffic counts, and on the right-hand column is local money. So some of these are, require a local match. And then we're also working with Perry County Development Corporation on the READY program through the state of Indiana, through Indiana First. And there's a lot of infrastructure in support of housing. So for 2022 and 23, there's going to be $2 to $3 million coming to Perry County from that program. And then we don't know how 2023 is going to come out, but some of the things we're working on, the former Perry County Memorial Hospital, a clearance project for that. we will be submitting this fall, but we won't know until early next year. There's a RAISE program through the Federal Highway Program, and we applied on behalf of Hoosier Southern Railroad, and we found out in August they did not get that award, but we will go in again next year. In November, we're going to be submitting a grant to the Environmental Protection Agency to do brownfield assessments. So if we take that $500,000 grant and divide it by the 6 counties, we should be spending about $83,000 here in Perry County. And then the Hagedorn Park is planning some improvements through a Land and Water Conservation Fund program. And we're meeting with the on extending Steel Road. We're just hearing about that project now, so we'll take that forward. The City of Cannleton has expressed some trail improvements, and so we've been meeting with many of the partners here in Perry County, and a lot of projects are in development for 23 as well. So that's all I had. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. We're based in Ferdinand, and appreciate David being on our board. And we have monthly meetings, and full board meets quarterly, so they're always open to the public if anybody wants to come.
No one has any questions?
All right.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have the William Kell Senior Citizen.
Hi, thank you. I want to thank you for your support the last couple of years. It's been a big help, and we're asking for support for the next year. We provide a service for the seniors in the area, and we're open like 45 weeks of a year. We close very little. Major holidays we close, and we close for Schweitzer Fest or weather related if we have snow or ice or something like that. We've been open 30 weeks already this year. We've been closed for 3 holidays and 1 weather day and for Schweitzer Fest. And we've served like 2,000 people already this year. So we don't exclude anybody for age. Any age can come in, but 95% of our people are 50 and older. And it gives them some entertainment, you know, and something to do and keep them busy and active. One little setback we had this year, after I sent my letter in for the request of funds, we've had to raise our band prices $100 a week, which is going to cost us $4,500 for the year. Because when we were paying $300, it cost us $13,500 a year for bands for entertainment. And for next year, for $400 a week for the bands, it's going to be $18,000. And we're not taking it in the door. We try to keep our price down so that everybody can afford it. If they're on fixed income, they feel like they can come every week if they want. Plus, we serve a meal. We're supplying a meal, drinks, snacks, and this is all something we do. And so that raises our price, what we have to take in every week to pay for all this. Okay, and once a month, we have Purdue Extension Agency. They come in and do a program with our seniors. And starting September the 22nd, Purdue is going to come in and hold an 8-week class on balance. So we're bringing in programs too to help the seniors. We want to keep them active and, you know, keep them going where they can function on their own and stay at home and be able to drive and do everyday things. It just gives them a place to have fun and socialize and a place to go without having to go to a bar, you know, where there's alcohol. For like myself, I'm not one to go and sit in a bar, but I love to go here and dance and and see people and have a good time. So, and, you know, we need that here, because that's the only place there is in town like that. You know, that's smoke-free, alcohol-free. You can sit in there and have a good time, and any age can come in. And we supply a place for the weekends. It's a Saturday night. You know, there's no other place to go on a Saturday night unless a bar or out to eat, but, you know, this place you can go and spend the whole evening and have a good time. And like I said, all ages can attend. We don't exclude anyone, but 95% of our people are 50 and older. You know, and everybody thinks about helping the seniors. You know, they have problems getting around or doing things for themselves, which is good. But, you know, we need to keep our seniors that don't have any problems healthy. And this is a good way to keep them healthy. So they just need a place for recreation. We hope you continue to help us out. And no one gets paid to do anything at the center. It's all volunteer. All the money goes back to the center. So, and it just pays for the band and all our supplies that we have to use. So if you could see it in your budget to raise it a little bit, it would be a big help, because we did have to raise our band prices, which will be $4,500 more a year for us. Any questions?
Do you have any idea when you're moving your new building?
No idea. We were hoping by the end of the year, but it doesn't look that way. It'll probably be next year, next spring. I'm hoping by then.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to help our attendance too when we get moved.
Mm-hmm.
I think more people will come in. And we do get new ones every now and then. I don't know, we're the best kept secret in Perry County, I think. Nobody knows we're there or what we do.
I think it'd help out with a
Yeah.
different location too.
Yeah, and we'll be centrally located and good parking and everything in a good area. And I think we get something new like that, I think it'll really bring people in.
For a little bit anyway, because people's gonna wanna come in and check it out.
Well, and if somebody moves here, or, you know, they look for a place
Mhm.
for seniors
Mhm.
and
Place-
things
place
they
to
can
sell
do.
alcohol.
And not just stuff through the week. I mean, we have a weekend thing, which they can attend and have a good time.
Best
So.
dancing crowd around.
That's right. We're very active, aren't we? So if you want to have a good time, just come in. We had some cards to pass out. If you get a chance, go on Facebook and look at what we do. We have pictures and videos on there and kind of get an idea.
Visit us on
If you wanna
Saturday
give Danny
night.
my free pass, I'm not old enough to get in.
You didn't say me, Keith.
It's not a free pass, but if you come in, I'll let you in,
Okay.
okay?
thank you.
Yeah, if you come one time, we'll let you in free the first time, just to get you in there to see what it's like.
Could you write that on the back?
Guaranteed.
Next we have serves.
Good evening.
Good evening.
All right, first of all, thank you guys for your past support of our organization. I'm Cheryl. I think I know most of you, but I am the CEO and president of Southern Indiana Resource Solutions, which has been operating in the Perry County communities for 54 years this year. So I am operating under the assumption that you guys have seen the packet or the request that I submitted. I tried to give you some high skim value there, but added some key economic impact and service data indicators in the letter that I submitted. And also, there's an annual report that has some of our success stories and fiscal data. So I won't go into all those details with you because you can see those numbers for yourself, but I did want to discuss briefly how your continued support in 2023 might help us carry forward our strategic priorities and possibly impact the welfare and individuals that we serve in the community as a whole. We have 3 key priorities moving into 2023. Those are, first of all, growing our transition programs for 14 to 22-year-olds in an effort to put more focus on community integrated employment. Secondly, partnering in the community to build capacity to serve individuals with co-occurring intellectual and developmental disabilities in addition to mental health disabilities. And third, developing workforce strategies. We're not unlike the rest of the community. We have continued to struggle with workforce. We were grateful in 2021 to be included in the Indiana legislators' budget bill and received a 14% increase in our Medicaid waiver reimbursement rates. Of course, the stipulation for that was 95% of it had to go back to direct support, which is absolutely where it should have gone, because that has kind of helped us with retention of our staff, but not necessarily with recruitment, which getting innovative and creative with that recruitment does cost a little money. So we hope to make great strides to these three priorities. Of course, the people that we serve, they're the core of our mission. Those are always priority, but it's all the little things that come with maintenance of providing those services. And continuing to be provide a high quality service for next year. So unfortunately, our dreams and our visions cost money, and we're asking Perry County to consider supporting us again next year with the appropriation to serve the amount of $45,000 in your budget. And if you guys have any questions about what I submitted, I'm happy to answer your questions. No questions?
You did a good job. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Appreciate your time.
Next, we have the 4-H Council.
I'm Cecilia Mundy. I'm one of the 4-H ambassadors, and I'm also the 4-H junior leaders representative on the 4-H council. I've been a 4-H'er for the last 8 years, and I think that 4-H is a very valuable resource in our community. Besides being really fun and having a lot of opportunities to get together and be together, it also teaches valuable life skills. For example, in 4-H we learn leadership. We're encouraged to take the initiative. We're taught how to do this and given small steps so we can gradually take more responsibility and lead activities. And as older kids, we also learn how to help younger kids in 4-H with learning to be leaders as well. It also teaches us responsibility and time management, because when you're balancing your 4-H projects and your different community service opportunities and your club meetings and things, you have to know how much time to spend on each thing, and then also know when you need to get things done, and then be responsible enough to get them done in time. So gradually, gradually you need less and less outside support to be able to do this on your own. 4-H projects are often a lot research-based, for things like forestry, soil and water science, wildlife and things. The main aspect of them is research, which is really important because the basis of research is the basics of learning anything and any kind of knowledge. So there's also the projects also have their more specific skills like sewing, woodworking, cooking, and electricity. Another big aspect of 4-H is the volunteer aspect. Volunteering is a huge part of 4-H. The 4-H pledge even states that part of it is serving the club, the community, the country, and the world. The community service projects are really varied, but lots of clubs will do things like make cards for nursing homes, which I've heard from people who delivered them. The nursing home residents always really enjoy. And it makes them happy. One of my clubs is Perry County Junior Leaders is working on a project to give teens who are in need at Carrollton and Perry County access to things like toiletries and other stuff like that. Community service isn't just about the community, it's also about the people who are doing the volunteering. Studies have shown that community service helps youth improve their social skills, learn to be good and patient leaders, and help and understand other people in their community. Studies also show that it helps youth do well in school, and that youth who participate in community service are more likely to develop strong work ethics as adults and be involved in their communities as adults.
Very good.
Good job.
Hello, I'm Pam Hilgenhold. I've been a 4-H leader 33 years. I guess you can figure my age out by that. I think my blood is green since my parents served over 100 years together, so I'm definitely a 4-H person. I just want to introduce a new program that Martha Basher and I had started 4 years ago through 4-H. It's called Outdoor Adventures, and through this program, I noticed that a lot of kids don't get outside, they don't play, they're on their phones or computers, and I felt the need to really get kids outside and do things on the weekends. So 4 years ago, we started this program, and we do 4 events a year, winter, spring, summer, and fall. And through this, in the last 4 years, we've gained 56 new kids. And I really try to push it at Perry Central since I work there. I really try to push, to get kids that maybe, wouldn't have those opportunities otherwise. Sometimes, we have kids that would never be able to do that. Their parents would not, allow them to do things. So these kids are really excited. They're kids that don't get those opportunities. Example, this weekend we're going to Lincoln Park, Lincoln Boyhood, and it's a 6-hour program, so we spend usually a Sunday from noon to 6. We just went to Marengo Cave. We've been to Salina Lake, just to give a few examples. But the biggest thing that I have seen is we're getting kids, like I said, that maybe wouldn't have those opportunities because their parents weren't involved in 4-H. So we're getting new kids into the program and hoping that at least those good experiences will keep them out of trouble and give them good experiences that hopefully they'll be good future leaders down the road. So Martha's going to go on a little bit more about a few things with 4-H.
Yeah, and what I see in a lot of those kids that we're pulling in, they haven't been in a lot of the community programs. So by getting them involved, we see a lot of interaction between the kids. So I think it really helps their communication skills. And I think just being a part of a group, they really enjoy that. And they have a great time together. We're getting kids from Tell City, Candleton, and Perry Central. And a lot of them haven't been around a lot of different kids. So it's really nice to have a group where we have kids all together from all over the county. And so we have a great time with all of them. We've seen our membership in 4-H go up by 15% since 2021. The money that we get really helps us do all the new programs that we're trying, and it does teach a lot of the life skills that we're talking about, leadership. And I know just in individual 4-H groups, not in ours so much, we don't have a sit-down meeting, but a lot of the kids do learn how to run a meeting, how to be a president, how to work together on committees, whether it's the volunteer or different things too that they do that way. I know there's a new after-school program at William Tell, a new 4-H group that's just after school there. But I think that's about all I have to add. Do you guys have any questions for us?
What was your favorite outdoor adventure that you participated in?
We've had quite a few.
Well, we went back when Paley Peaks gave us a really good deal. That was the first winter that we went. We had 33 kids go.
Yeah.
And we didn't think about this, but we are skiers, and we didn't think about, these kids didn't even know how to put boots on. I had kids that they put ski boots on. They go, "Oh, I'm snowboarding." Okay, we start over.
Yeah.
But that was a really cool experience for a lot of kids who will probably never go again. So I have to say that was probably the craziest day because we had so many kids, but it was so fun. But I tell you what, and it gives me goosebumps just to think about some of those kids that we're getting, and I know the kind of house they live in. And it's just really cool to see them have fun and get out and do some really cool things. I've had kids that's told me, I've really never been out of Perry County much, and so when we go to maybe Lark Ranch, we went to Lark Ranch one time, that was really a neat opportunity just to get out of the county and see new sights and do new things. So I think for me, it's just really the new kids that we're getting and seeing those kids get to experience things that they never probably will get to do.
Yeah, and part of our outdoor adventures is it's always educational as well. We always add an educational component. So we're going to Lincoln Park this Sunday, and we're going to tour the museum, and we're going to go through the Boyhood Home. So it's not just all recreation.
Yeah.
We do add an educational component to each one of those.
And they're not allowed to have their phones. They can, but they can only take pictures.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much for your support.
Thank you.
Next, we have 4-H Fairgrounds.
Hello, my name is Chris Temple. I'm here today representing the Perry County Fairgrounds, where I currently serve as the committee president. I would like to start out by thanking the council and the commissioners for your support throughout the prior years. The Perry County Fairgrounds thrives to be an asset to Perry County by providing a well-kept facilities for free use to the Perry County Extension Service for many of their programs and activities open to the county residents and youth, with the 4-H program being their biggest one, which I'm proud to say that I am a past 10-year 4-H'er myself. The fairgrounds is also available to all members of our community. The fairgrounds is used on a wide variety of events, including graduation parties, weddings, family events, holiday parties, and local businesses. We do work on some reduced rental rates with some other nonprofit groups, benefit charity events, and here lastly, or most popular, we've been working with the Perry County Humane Society on some spay and neuter clinics at a reduced to free rental rate. In the last year, they've held 3 clinics where over 300 cats have went through there. We feel like this is a small part we can do to return the support back to the county to help control the feral cat problem along the way. A few county events takes place at the grounds, as we're a election polling facility for the county. And as far as the courtroom, we're either a backup or a place for a large hearing. They have booked us for a week at a time, but I don't know if they've ever had to use us or whatever, but they have booked the facility. But we are open-minded to help the community in any way if anything else arises or is needed. So. And lastly, for what everyone knows the facility for most is the annual Perry County 4-H Fair. As the Fairgrounds Committee, our duty is not only to plan a successful county fair, but to also maintain the entire facility year-round. The committee spends a large part of our monthly meetings discussing ways to improve not only our annual event, but also continuously looking for ways to improve our facility. Over the past few years, we've worked on repainting our outdoor roofs, updating our awnings around our main building, installing new curtains throughout the main building, investing in new plumbing facilities, outdoor sound system upgrades in the livestock barns, and numerous building electrical upgrades. Although we have been able to complete many tasks on our list, it's like a home to-do list that keeps growing. Just like a home, all improvements and repairs come with a hefty price. In addition to routine maintenance and upkeep, the fairgrounds is looking at making additional large upgrades this year to our facility. Currently, we're working on plans to upgrade our electrical service, lighting, and sound system in our main arena, refurnish our wood flooring in the upstairs main building, continue to expand on our lighting to LED, and electrical upgrades to modern code throughout the facility. Without the hard work of our volunteers, community support, area businesses, partnerships, and county funding, these improvements would not be possible. I know I've mentioned a lot about our hard work and plans and improvements for the fairgrounds facilities, but I also like to thank those individuals who helped make the 2022 Perry County Fair a success. The annual Perry County Fair is not only a great opportunity or event for our youth in our county, but also a great opportunity to bring a large number of individuals from surrounding counties and states into Perry County. Our goal each year is to continue to improve on our event from the year prior and make everyone leave our facility talking about what a great time they had in Perry County. In closing, I would like once again thank you for your support and funding and request your continued support and funding. The Fairgrounds Committee hopes to be able to continue to be a valued asset to Perry County for many years to come. Thank you.
On your main building, how often are you renting that out? Quite a bit? It slowed down probably during COVID.
Through through May and June, it's every weekend, every Friday, every Saturday, and every Sunday.
That's good.
July, late June, every July, you know, we book it up for the fairgrounds. Schweitzer Fest gets booked for a Tell City reunion every year. You get into like Thanksgiving, it gets booked. Christmas time, we get some bookings. Graduation party is big. Wedding reception starts getting. We're a small facility, so I mean we can't handle a huge wedding reception.
Make improvements where it does. It's pretty nice.
We're trying to make improvements. The curtains and stuff, we're just trying to make outside, or, you know, inside and outside improvements. But the floor is getting a beating. But to continue having main events to try to help fund majority of it ourselves, we need to make some major upgrades to our arena, which is our money maker. But well, it's a money maker, but it's a lot of money comes in, but it's a huge expense to put those events on too. So, I mean, like our insurance this year for property and liability was $14,000. So.
I do have them big events like the
It looks like there's a lot of money coming in. I mean, when you're sitting there collecting gate money, but man, it's a lot of money going right back out again too. So.
You have to have the insurance.
Yep, but we try to work with nonprofits and the Humane Society. You know, we try to feel like the money you guys are supporting us, we're trying to put it back in the community for a free facility, and then working with the Purdue Extension, you know, providing a free facility for all the 4-H'ers. I mean, there's clubs that meet there, and then whatever events, and then the fair. So, anything else?
Any other questions?
Thank you very much. Good.
Thank you.
Thank you for all you do.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, next we have ambulance service. Hey, Brian, are you doing that?
Sorry. Yeah, thanks. Brian Herwig, CEO and President of Perry County Memorial Hospital, here to present the budget for the county ambulance service. As you know, the state regulations require the county to provide an ambulance service, and we are pleased to collaborate with the county to offer that service every year. And I'm going to present the request here in a second, but I'm going to start with a slogan. You provide the bucks, we'll operate 2 trucks. So the goal is to keep 2 paramedic trucks on the road 24/7. It's been a verbal commitment between the hospital and the county for years. We have an increase in funding requested next year. Through the first 10 months of your calendar this year, the subsidy has been $200,000 or $20,000 a month. If you amortize that over the next 2 months, that'll be $240,000. We're asking for an increase next year for 3 areas. One is increased salaries and benefits for the paramedics and EMTs. It's a challenge for us to keep 2 trucks on the road at the present time with the current hourly rates of our paramedics. So that's become more difficult. The second area is we put an increase in next year for a projection in higher fuel cost. That's a much smaller number. And the third increase is for the billing company. In conversation with the council and the commissioners a couple years ago, there was an agreement we would move billing from the hospital billing service to a professional ambulance billing service. We made that move in January of this year. Unfortunately, the collections have not demonstrated that improvement. So that's the increase in cost, is salaries and wages to keep 2 trucks on the road. In addition to the funding we're requesting next year, the hospital in the indirect expenses bears about $500,000 a year. That's not passed on to the county. It's not paid, not to the county commissioners, but that's the cost that we bear. So the cost that we're asking for you is, again, the direct cost of running the trucks less whatever we get on billing So I will leave it at that unless you have any questions. Again, we appreciate the work and the collaboration. The goal is to have 2 trucks, so when we transfer patients out for certain services that we can't deliver, when that second call comes to a loved one, that truck is there.
Thank you. We'll take your request.
Brian, you mentioned this billing service, that it hadn't worked out. Should it be looked into that, I mean, is just the funds aren't out there to grab a hold of? Or?
Actually, what we've found, is that it's not so much the billing service, it's what insurance companies pay. And we collected when the hospital did the billing, and the billing service is collected when they do the billing. We're collecting less than 30 cents on a dollar of cost. And that's because that's all insurance companies pay. And that's the insurance market. That's the insurance market. We looked at an insurance contract from one of the Medicaid companies in the last couple months. Their contract to us is they would pay 150% of the Medicaid rate. Medicaid pays us about 15 cents on the dollar. So they're paying us 150%, which is much less than cost. So it's just the nature of what insurance companies pay for the service.
So do you plan on revisiting that at some point on the billing service, to possibly do away with it? Or is that like probably 3-year, or is that more than an annual contract?
To bring it back in-house?
Yeah.
Well, if we bring it back in-house, then it's our cost, not your cost.
I mean, you were doing it for free.
And we're already funding, $500,000, that we bear to be, we're happy to do that, but it's getting a little tougher on the hospital this year, given the nursing labor market, that the costs have gone pretty high. So our ability to support is getting tougher at the present time.
Yeah. I don't understand. You say, David asked, was doing the billing for the ambulance service free of charge? You wasn't taking a cut?
Correct. Previously, under our agreement with the county, yes, you pay for direct costs through the subsidy, and the hospital absorbs the indirect costs. So that would have been billing when we did the billing. That would be for accounting, that would be administration, that would be human resources. So we hire and we recruit, manage workers' comp.
You're still doing human resources, correct?
Pardon?
You're still doing human
Yes, we're
resources.
doing all of those services I just named, we still
With the
do.
exception of billing.
So you pay for the fine paramedics, EMTs, supplies, gas, maintenance, repair, now for the billing service. And then the county also pays through a separate fund for capital equipment. So you pay for the trucks, you pay for all of the monitors and IV pumps and blood pressure cuffs that are on the trucks.
Because I worked for the ambulance service for about 10 years, so I'm a little bit familiar.
Okay.
And we always used, the ambulance used the same IV pumps that you used.
Yeah, right.
So there wasn't a problem if they needed to take one out.
Correct. So that still
But you're
happens.
saying
It's just that if we had to buy new blood pressure monitors or IV pumps for the ambulance now, the county pays for those. We would buy the same IV pump. In the event, your IV pump on the ambulance goes down, we certainly don't want to leave you without, so we would let you borrow from the hospital until this one gets repaired. So we try to keep the same equipment for that purpose, but the county pays for that. Again, that's separate than this budget. But the billing cost was a hospital expense. It's now, this year's first year, it's in the subsidy from the county.
You're saying the heart monitors, LifePak 12s, they've always been the hospitals, they've never been the ambulance service?
No, they've always been the ambulance service. We buy the same.
Now, I'm talking about the heart monitor.
On the ambulance?
Correct.
That would be,
I'm not talking about the IV pumps, I'm talking about the heart.
that would be property of the county.
It's always been property of the county, that's what I thought.
Yes.
Maybe you need to meet with Brian and you'll.
Yeah, love to have you come up. We can arrange that. Any other question?
Maybe I'll try to
Thank
swing at
you.
it before this goes off.
Yeah.
Thank
Next, we have Council on Aging.
I feel like you're the teacher, Joan. I'm going to be your assistant.
Good Lord.
There you go, Mr. Jones.
I'm Joan Hess, and this is my lovely assistant, Missy Noble. And we'd just like to start off by thanking you for your past support and the opportunity to be here this evening. We are both members of the Board of Directors for Perry County Council on Aging. Our executive director had to be out of town, so we beg your compassion and indulgence with us because we've never done this before. So
And we're both very shy, so.
Yes, we are shy people. So you may have to help us out.
Yes.
Anyway, we're here this year again to ask for the same amount of money as you have supported us in the past, which is $30,000. We would accept more, absolutely. Not going to turn that down, but we would like to get that amount. It is very important to us. We don't have a big source of funding, but we do quite a bit with what we have. Transportation is one of our biggest services. We are the biggest transportation provider dedicated to the needs of Perry County, specifically for Medicare, Medicaid runs, disabled individuals, elderly individuals, but anyone can use the transportation services. They would just be a private pay, and it would cost them more. We bill Medicare, Medicaid, and the like for
Which is kind of what you were referring to earlier. About the gentleman, yes.
Yes.
This guy,
Oh, absolutely,
so
we
can
do.
give him your information.
Absolutely. Have him call the
do
Council
that
on
all day.
Aging.
Go.
His wife will be calling.
It's on there?
Okay.
Yep.
Give me 2 that pamphlet so I can give her.
I would love to, but Joan took them all. No, I'm just
No,
kidding.
that's all he gave
Here,
me.
no, here. I'm just
Thank you.
kidding. There you go.
Anyway, and we'd also like to thank Charlie Ballmeister and Paul Malone took time to meet with our executive director before he went out of town. We appreciate you doing that because he can explain this much better than we can. But one of the things, I'm a new member of the board, and one of the things that I really like about the organization is that it treats the whole individual. We work on, like I said, transportation is a big part of it, but we also meet some nutrition needs. We help distribute food to the elderly that are low income. I recently had the opportunity to help with one of the food giveaways through Tri-State Food Bank, and it was very well received, as you might think. And we have we do a community health fair, senior health fair every year, which is really well attended by both vendors and the community. This year we're doing a senior job fair for the first time to try to help those that might want even just a part-time job, and it hopefully will also help businesses and the like in the community. We offer senior center activities at our office in Cannleton, which helps with socialization, mental health, well-being. We do educational programs. We help with insurance sign-up this time of year. If you're over 65, you'll be getting hounded starting October 15th by all of the insurance companies. And we just address many of the needs. We do the best we can to do that. Just wanted to point out that last year we made a total of 3,680 trips. This year we are 2/3 of the way through the year already, and we're on schedule to be right at that same amount for this year as well. We have 5 vehicles and 9 part-time employees. Employees are always a struggle to get and retain, but we do the best we can. We work with several different brokers throughout the state that help us and reimburse us and the like. Some of the social services that we perform, we host a monthly networking luncheon for healthcare organizations providing care and services in Perry County. We do the Senior Health and Resource Fair, Senior Job Fair this year. Last year, we worked with the Perry County Sheriff's Department and some other community partners and did a Cram the Cruiser event during the holiday season, and they gathered, oh gosh, they did a lot of toiletries, I know, and things, and some cold weather items that were distributed to seniors in the community. We're also involved with an organization called SAWS. It's a ramp program to provide ramps to elderly people that can't afford them because they're very expensive. And we partner with also EUCC and Perry Central Schools on that. We're a SHIP, which is the State Health Insurance Assistance Program site, so we help with Medicare open enrollment and the like. We help with senior food boxes each month that are delivered. And then we do bus trips, 3 or 4 bus trips throughout the year to various places. A lot of them are day trips. Those are very well received by the community, and I think they got one coming up to Huber. Yeah, the first part of October. And then in December, they're going to be heading down to Nashville. We have spoken with the mayor of Tell City about the possibility of occupying space at German American Bank on the 2nd floor, I believe, of that. But that's in the very, very early stages, so really don't have anything there. Anything you want to add?
You know, I think the most important thing, before I was a board member, you know, one of the things that I think we all kind of take for granted, for instance, my father's 88. And if he needs to go to, if he couldn't drive and needed to go to a doctor's appointment, someone's going to have to take off work, right, and take my dad. You know, that's the great thing about this. You know, we have this service available, and we wouldn't be able to do it without y'all's support, so.
Do you have any
do
questions?
VA transports, like VA patients to Louisville?
Yeah.
We don't do
We're
much
working with
VA,
that.
but we're trying to work with that.
That might be a program that we.
We're trying to find a way that we can get some reimbursement for that.
Keith, matter of fact, that's the meeting that Paul and I had with him.
Good segue, isn't it, Charlie?
About the transportation of the veterans, because of communication problems between our organization and them. And we're going to have a sit-down meeting with everybody involved and try to get something worked out where it's beneficial for everyone.
Right.
Yes, and we're definitely supportive of that, Charlie, because we
And-
know it's a
I think
need.
they struggle
Yeah.
with their van drivers
Right.
also.
Yeah, and we've talked about things such as we might make a certain day or two of the week that would be Veteran Service Day, you know, and try to get the word out so they could organize their appointments on those days so that it would be a
Scheduling is
beneficial.
the big thing.
Yes.
because Unfortunately, people procrastinate and they call Kevin a day before the appointment. That does not give them enough time
Right.
to make
Yeah.
arrangements. So
Right.
that's what we're going to be working on, the scheduling.
Well, it used to be paid, you know, if you drove yourself or whatever, you know, if your son drove you, the VA paid pretty well.
Right, yeah.
Now they've cut all that out, so
Yeah.
everybody's looking for a free ride now. You know,
Abso-
It's understandable,
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
Yeah.
especially veterans that's paid the price.
Right, yeah.
And
And we
need-
want to help.
And we want to take care
Sure,
of
I
them, yeah.
understand. I just-
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can maybe coordinate where you may have 3 going in the same.
Right.
Right,
That's what
right.
we
That is what we
discussed.
would like. That would be ideal.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you could, you know, furnish a driver for their van would work out wonderful.
Yeah,
That was
and I don't.
brought up also, we discussed that. So there's.
Charlie, don't be saying
The
that.
question is about
Sounds like
who
you're
owns the van right
losing your
now.
mind.
That's the big question.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Well,
we're-
thank you, ladies.
Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And I apologize, I have to leave.
I thought it was us or what?
Okay, that concludes our agencies, and now we will begin with the departments, and we will also take those in order the way they appear in the budget book. And the first, and some may be here, may not be, but first one we would begin with would be the clerk.
Clerk.
Clerk?
Rachel.
Clerk.
Oh, Rachel.
That's you,
Sorry.
Rachel. Clerk, clerk. We can-
I know.
Go sit back down with Mr. Mayor.
Hey, when you're sitting next to Missy Noble, you're always having fun.
That shy one back there. You're talking about the shy one.
It runs in the family. Oh, well, do you guys have any questions with the proposed budget that I can maybe answer, or? One thing that you guys might notice, I think there was I don't know what happened at the budget last year, but it ended up showing on the absentee voter board under the general or county election. Somehow, I think we got just one election in there, and not enough payment for the general election. So I will have to ask for additional, unfortunately.
That's on page 14.
Oh. I don't know if that was my fault or I don't know what happened, but other than that, that was the main thing there that you guys probably like, whoa, that's a big, because Susie questioned me on that one.
I remember that discussion.
Yeah, I do too. And I didn't pay any attention afterwards, and then.
There was a reason, but I don't remember what it was.
The rent of the polling places, no one has charged anything ever since I became clerk. So I honestly, I don't know if that's something that can be removed. I don't have to have that on there, and if something would come down the road, then I'll figure something out. But I haven't been charged anything for going on 3 years now. Other than that, not really any major changes. Just the 2024 budget is when the iPads, the maintenance and service agreement, that comes on. But other than that, I don't really have any major changes this year.
Okay.
All right. That was easy. Thank you.
Next we have the auditor. Are you taking that?
I think she had
She's
told
going to-
you that at the
budget
meeting,
hearing.
she'll
Okay.
discuss anything that
Pam had a
has
death in her
changed.
family, so she couldn't be here, so she'll address it at the regular budget hearings.
For 3 days.
And next we have treasurer, Amanda.
Hello.
Hello.
You have any questions? I always try to cut as much as I possibly can every year, so.
We appreciate that.
You're welcome. I did not ask anything, I don't believe, really extra this year.
I'm assuming, I noticed the one increases on the mail, and that's what the post.
Postage went up, yes. There's not much I can do about that.
No.
Now 60 cents.
Mhm.
I really didn't have any questions.
Me either.
Anyone else have any? Not, thank you.
Okay, thank you guys.
Recorder? We got anyone here from the recorder's office, is there?
No.
Sheriff?
He's not going to be here.
Surveyor? Warner?
Oh, you know,
You know I'm gonna be here.
He's always here.
Well, I'll start with this. Anybody have any questions on what I submitted? Because I've got some changes I'd like to make.
Too late, they've been.
Changes to what you turned in?
Yes. Well, a couple of different things. I asked for a few increases in different categories due to the fact of stuff's going up in price and stuff. But the one thing that I'd like to see changed 2 of the last 3 years, I did not ask for a salary increase for myself. And again, this year is one of the 3 years. But I'd like for maybe not to increase the chief deputy's salary and take that money in percentage-wise that you're going to give county employees and divide it between my deputies. My chief deputy is making $1,600 more than what my other deputies are. And the only job she's got different than the regular deputies is that she makes out the schedule each month. And I think $1,600 just to make a schedule out is a little expensive. That my other deputies probably could use the money because they're working at, basically if they work the same amount of hours each month, they're making $2.33 an hour. Now last year the council gave the sheriff's department $5 on the hour more for his part-time deputies to bring them up to $25 an hour. And I think $2.33 is kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel. So that is my big concern, is I'd like to see the deputies raised a little bit more in salary than what they're making. I asked.
We tried to give you an increase last
I know,
year,
but
and you gave it to
I gave,
the
yeah.
deputies.
This is not a job you're going to get rich at anyway. I feel that the deputies, yeah, Charlie, you don't get rich at it. So, but I feel the deputies, you know, they're putting in a lot of time. You know, they're on call 24 hours a day if they're on the schedule. And I feel that, you know, $2.33 is not that much. You know, if we could raise their salaries, I think it'd be a big improvement, especially considering we start comparing the coroner's office here to other counties. We are at the very bottom of the list, basically. And I think Charlie can contest to that.
91 out of 92 counties.
So,
That's pretty nice.
yeah.
Who's next in Crawford?
No, Crawford's higher than what we are.
Yes. It's a county up north is the 92,
Yeah.
92nd.
Yeah.
Why is your request for your autopsy fees $5,000?
That's what it's been set for every year.
2 autopsies?
That'd cover about, yeah, 2.5 autopsies. But under state statute,
Average.
you can't deny autopsy fees. So that's the reason it's always been set at $5,000.
But I think what he's
Why isn't it
meaning,
more?
why, because you come back and do additional
Well-
several times a year.
Yeah, it's,
What's your average autopsies a year?
this year we've had, I think, 9 so far.
Yes.
Okay,
And
that's $18,000.
Yeah,
roughly.
roughly.
So you had to come back how many times and ask for
But
that?
then some years we've had as less as 3 or 4, so it varies.
Pretty rare.
Well, I think,
Anymore, it is
yeah,
rare, but.
it is rare, but, you know, I've never
I know
asked,
years where there probably wasn't any, but that don't mean there wasn't,
Yeah.
couldn't have been.
well, I just feel that I've always left it at 5, and if I need more, then I'll come and ask for it, you know. I'm trying to keep the budget down as much as possible, because, you know, maybe rest of the year, I mean, I've got enough money right now with the additional funding for, I think, 2 more autopsies, or 1 3/4 autopsies, actually is what, I got enough money left. And hopefully I don't need it, but that is something that we can't predict. Any other questions? Okay, thanks.
We'll take that under consideration. Anyone here from the assessor office? No. Prosecuting attorney? Jason?
Good evening.
Good evening.
I've got 3 budgets, so I can start with pretrial diversion. I'll just go over my requests, my increase requests. Computer supplies were increased. We are going to need to get a new server. Our server's 7 years old, so it's at the end of its life. and we're splitting that cost with the 4D budget. Salaries, the main increase there is for the victim advocate position. There was a decrease in the grant funding, so typically the grant funds about 80% of that salary, and the county 20%. The grant was reduced, so to make up for that, it'll be about a 70-30 split. So we're asking to keep that position as is for an increase in that salary. And of course, the pretrial diversion doesn't affect the county general, so that's that request. As far as the prosecuting attorney budget, the only standard increases as far as salary. There was a request for an additional $600 in the computer software maintenance due to, we've been advised that we need a standard firewall router for security, so that was the request there. As far as the 4D budget, we added a request in the computer supplies to help pay for the new server, and another request in the computer maintenance for $1,000 to add to for the router. And even though the 4D budget's kind of interesting, even though our total request is $116,000, that's actually an actual budget of about $30,000 because $25,000 gets reimbursed. First $25,000 gets reimbursed 100%, and then anything over that, county general gets reimbursed 2/3. So that's my request. So.
Jason, on your page 10 here, in our book anyway, it's got your rent for office space.
Yes, sir.
Is that broken up? Is that everything you pay, or is it broken up?
It's broken into the.
There's more than one.
Yeah, there's more than one.
That,
yes.
That's not what you're paying.
Right. There's, let's see, it is 4D and it's split between 4D and prosecutor. A total, it's about $2,000 a month. So
it's about $24,000 a year.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, we've talked about that before.
Yes.
Every year we discuss.
Is it going to go, to your knowledge, is the electric department ready to go up again?
It's written in the lease that it goes up 3% every year. Yeah. So.
And I would invite any of the other board members. I went into the office the other day and the upkeep was terrible. It needs a meeting with the electric
Well,
department.
before you, I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong, but a person would need to look at the lease and see if it's the electric department's issued updated, or is it the tenants? Because, you know, sometimes it's not the landlord's job to, you know, but I don't know, I haven't seen the lease.
That's a commissioner's issue. They're the ones that sign the contracts.
Yeah, that's,
But if you have any ideas on that, we'd be glad to hear it.
Absolutely, yes, I will.
Yes.
I will follow up on that. Yes, sir.
So right now you got $23,792 in rent.
Yes.
10,040 and 13,792 prosecutor.
Yes, yes, sir.
Up 24,000. So, any other questions of Jason? Not, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Jason.
Thank you.
Jason.
Thank you.
County Extension.
Said McDonald's on her shirt. Thought you had the golden arches on.
Oh, no, Purdue Extension, Perry County. I'm Kathy Bursty, and I'm representing Purdue Extension tonight. Megan Jasperson is our CED, and she's under the weather today, so I'm pitch hitting for her. And I think you may have all received this. This is a breakdown of our budget line by line. Would you mind?
Sure.
Thank you. So I just kind of wanted to hit some of the highlights about our budget. The first, and also with me today is Sarah Zamansky. She's Ag and Natural Resources and 4-H livestock educator. So we're just part of what you see. There's a lot more behind the scenes with Purdue Extension. And so first I want to thank you all for the support that you've given us over the years. And hopefully that will continue. We feel like we are very good stewards of the money. We did have to ask for some increases, as I think probably most people are needing to ask for this year. What we try to do is our best guess at what it's going to cost us to provide the services, and anticipating a year ahead of time is often difficult. So as you can see, coming out of the pandemic, we think we're moving back more like pre-pandemic in terms of programs and services, but that's always subject to change based on the needs of the county and what new programming requests that we might get. And whatever we don't use, we leave on the table. And we don't just go out and frivolously spend at the end of the year just to be spending. So we try to hit that sweet spot where we've asked for just enough, but we also try not to have to come back and ask for an additional appropriation, because we know that takes both time and money to do. I want to hit some of the highlights of our request for this year. Our number one request and need is for the people. If we don't have the people in the office, everything else grinds to a halt. So our contractual services, our administrative assistant, and our summer assistant are our primary needs. So I'm going to kind of go through those in the order that they are on the budget. Administrative assistant, we're asking for the same percentage of increase that you're giving to all other county employees. We made our best guess at 5%, but we understand we just ask that she gets what everybody else is getting percentage-wise. And she is a county employee. Our summer assistant and part-time, we hire a local student, usually a college student, who comes in and works throughout the summer for us when that is our busiest time, and it's absolutely critical that we have that help. We have asked for a substantial increase in that line item, more than just the percentage, because as I'm sure you're all aware, it costs more to hire people than it did a couple of years ago, and we were very lucky that we found someone who would work for $10.40 this summer. She could have gone to any fast food place in the county and made significantly more. A lot of folks expressed interest, but when I told them what the salary was, they would love to do the job, but they're college students and they've got to make a certain amount of money in the summer, and if we're paying $10.40 and McDonald's is paying $15, they'd rather work for us, but they got to take the $15. So that's why we've asked for a significant increase there for our part-time employee. The next one is contractual services, and this one may be a little bit confusing because Sarah and Megan and I are part of contractual services. So this is not our salary. It's benefits, and it's additional benefits. For example, it's not only 2.5 educators, but it's also our community wellness educator that is shared among several other counties. It is also our nutrition education program assistant who is shared with 2 or 3 other counties as well. It is services from campus experts. So if we have a problem that the educators in the office don't have the expertise, we contact somebody from campus. Oftentimes they're able to provide that resource to us remotely, but if we need them here, they have come and they will come. So closest example was a few years ago in DuBois County. You may remember when they had an avian flu outbreak, and there were several folks from campus who came down to assist with that issue. So I hope that we don't get a situation where we need that, but it is great to have those folks on campus who are backing us up and supporting us. It also is our internet connectivity, so you don't see a separate bill for our internet. It covers our support for the under contractual services for computers, it also covers the lease of the equipment. It covers if something breaks, that's all covered in a set amount. So how do they come up with this and why the increase that we're asking for this year? Well, first the how. Contractual services are based on the size of the population. So we are lumped together with other like-sized counties throughout Indiana. And then the second part of the formula is how many educators do you have? So it's simply a mathematical formula based on that. And it is uniform across the state, so based on other like-sized counties based on population. The increase this year is more than what it's been for quite a while. And the reason for that is because costs everywhere are going up. Our contractual services include our benefits, which includes health insurance. So as I'm sure you're aware of, with county employees, that's a big expense that continues to rise. It also is we've gotten caught in the situation that most employers have gotten caught in, that you have to pay more to get employees. And so we're very lucky that in Perry County we've got our 2.5 educators. And I say half because Megan Jasperson is shared with Spencer County. So she is a full-time employee, but her services are between 2 counties. So we pay half of hers and Spencer pays for the other half. So several years ago, Purdue Extension was tightening the belt, and they lowered the starting salary for new employees. And now we simply can't hire anybody for what we were paying. So they've risen that, and the only way that we can do this is by getting more in our contractual services. Our contractual services are also what we call leverage funds. So federal government pays part and the state pays part. We call it like a 3-legged stool. And each one looks at what the other one does. So if somebody makes a cut, the other 2 make a cut as well. And so this is simply what we have to maintain the 2.5 educators that we have in the county. And so I'm really hoping that you all will be able to do that for us. And I'll stop there before I go into the services part of the budget. Do you have any questions about those 3 line items?
If we were to not fund that contractual services, would Purdue pick that up?
No, they can't.
That's what
As you might imagine, if one county says, well, we're going to do a little bargaining on our own and we're going to negotiate a new price, well, the other 91 counties are going to do the same thing. Right. And so they know they can't do that. So, and that's happened in other counties. They've kind of called the bluff and said, we're not going to fund that much, and then a decision has to be made of who's laid off. So we certainly hope that doesn't happen. Losing a position is different than having a vacancy. Throughout we've had vacancies too. Somebody retires or they find another job and the job is open. When you are paying for the services, because it's contractual services, we make sure that the services are provided. So it may mean that someone from another county is helping out. And likewise, sometimes we're helping out one of our neighbors who is in a vacancy situation. But if you say we're not going to fund an educator position, Purdue and the Extension Board will have to have a long conversation of, well, which services are we not going to have? And we have some counties that do that. They eliminate it, and so they don't have health and human sciences, or they don't have ag and natural resources programming in their county. So their folks, if they want that, have to travel to another county or do without. And oftentimes we're dealing with low-income people as well, so many times they're just not going to get that expertise. There just isn't somebody in the local office to answer that. So did that answer the question? So that's why I said the salaries are most critical. Now, the other things that we ask for are also important because that's what we need to provide the services. For example, mileage or travel money. And that's not travel like we're going to exotic places. That's like if a farmer in the northern part of the county needs needs for Sarah to go do a consultation, it covers the mileage for her to go out and do that farm call. Or if, and this happens all the time, we're in the schools. So Perry Central Schools want a program that any number of the three of us might be doing. It covers the transportation for us to go to and from the school to provide that. It also provides for our professional development. You know, if we have a training at Purdue, or oftentimes the trainings in Indianapolis or in central Indiana. So again, not far travel, local travel. But if we don't have that, then we've got to make tough decisions on what do we say no to. You know, where do we not go? And that travel money we've not been spending for the last 2 years. You know, it's during the pandemic. We are, in fact, if you look at our budget, what we've spent for 2022 thus far, there's quite a bit laying on the table right now. Well, the fall is schools are now like everything's back open. We're doing more school programming. Our trainings are back up and happening in person. So we don't spend the same amount every month, and you know, we're probably going to come pretty close to spending that by the end of the year. But again, if we don't, we leave it on the table. Let's see what else. Equipment repair. We've got some things that have some age to them, so we've asked for a modest increase there. That again is just a guess of what's going to break and how much is it going to cost to fix it. Some years we go over, some years we go under. Copy machine maintenance, we pay a maintenance contract, and it's a per copy amount. And because we've picked up on doing more in-person things, we're making more copies. So we know that we need more in that line item for next year. And then a new one is new equipment. Our copy machine is 9 years old. Our copy person has told us that it's at the end of its life. It's running right now. It may not be tomorrow. It might run for another year. We simply don't know. As you know, we're located at the annex, so we don't have anybody else in the building that we can run and make copies. And oftentimes we're talking a lot of copies. You know, if we're doing a program, it may be several handouts that we need. And so, we do a lot of programming on weekends. So it's not like we can come over here to the courthouse and use the copy machine whenever we need it. So we're anticipating that and have included an amount to cover a new copy machine so that we can replace it before it breaks. And you know, when you get on a schedule and you order ahead of time, you get a better price than if you call and say, I need whatever you have and I need it as fast as you can get it here.
Now with that buying a new copy machine, will that not decrease what the copy machine maintenance fee is going to be? No,
that's a good question. No, because the maintenance fee covers the routine wear and tear and things like the toner that go in it. I don't know. There's several other things that they deem routine wear and tear. Be like on a car, you know you're going to have to change the oil and eventually you're going to have to buy tires. That's built into the maintenance agreement, which is per copy. If something else breaks, and we've had a couple of things like, I don't know copy machine parts, but the guys come to fix it and he says, that's not routine. It's old and it's wearing out and you need that part and it's going to be
But you won't have that with the new machine.
We shouldn't have those with the new machine.
But that's
So
not in that line item, is it? Like
we
for
we
around
put
that?
a little bit in that would come under equipment repair, and so we had one of those this year. It was something unusual that broke, so we
Not
shouldn't
under-
have as much under there.
It's not under the maintenance, but it is under the repair.
Right now, that being said,
Money on that maintenance on a new machine.
well, because toner is very expensive, and it does cover the toner. When we just routinely order the toner when we need that, and they come a couple times a year and they clean it and tune it up and that kind of thing. So that's what's covered, and they know when to do that based on the number of copies that we've used. So like fair time, we make a lot of copies. They're usually coming right before the fair or right after the fair to do that tune up. The equipment repair would also cover things like, we do a lot of food preparation for programs. So we have a full kitchen, and that kitchen was there when we moved in, so it's the old ambulance service. It has some age on it as well. So, pardon?
I used to cook in there a lot.
All right, so you know. 1 year, one of the burner units went out, so that came out of repair of equipment. You know, it could be something like that. You have any other questions for us?
We'll definitely take it under consideration and request.
And if you think of something later, you know, our door's always open. Just give us a call. We're happy to answer that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Veteran Service Office. No one here? County Council. We did not request any raise, neither did commissioners, so that's a good thing. County Election Board, we've already covered. Who we got sitting out here yet?
Steve
Highway.
I was.
Steve.
The next
Soil
one
and
I
water.
kind of was looking at is soil and water.
Are they? Oh, yeah, they are.
Sorry, Steve, I tried to get you there, but.
Soil and water. Conservation. Randy.
Good evening. We take care of a lot of the things ourselves, so our budget's not very big. What we ask for, paid for the telephone. I want you item to the $2,000 in subscription and dues. I want you to understand that is, we belong to the Association of Soil Districts in Indiana. But as being that, instead of $14,000 that Chris Temple said that they had insurance for the fairgrounds, we pay that $2,000 covers our insurance, and that covers Deer Lake and our 8 pieces of rental equipment, plus the tort claims for us as supervisors for the state. So that $2,000 is really, that you could say that's insurance money more than anything else. And then our $5,000 expenses for the Deer Lake, which is an animal that we can't get rid of.
Not easily.
Huh?
Not easily, no.
Not easily. Not when the lady says, from Milwaukee, a lawyer for the Forest Service says, if you don't want it, put the dirt back where it came from.
Yeah.
So that's $5,000 for mowing. It's going to need a little riprap in a couple places pretty soon, things like that. And then the big thing was looking for our coordinator's salary to be brought up to the same pay as first deputy, because she does the whole shebang, everything. She files sales tax, all the paperwork that goes to the state. Whenever we started this thing, I've been on the board 30-some years now, I won't say how many. The paperwork was minimal, and now there's probably 15 times as much stuff that we have to file. State Board of Accounts seems to be throwing little guys in with the big outfits too, so we got a lot of things. And she does it all herself, yeah. Anything else you want to know about us? We're the first conservationist tree huggers in the country. I mean, that's what our goal is to educate along with Purdue. We are hand in hand with them for educating farmers on new things that's going on. So
I met with Darlene one time, and I was surprised how much equipment, rental you did. I didn't realize you would have done that much.
yeah, we're something new. We're the size we are in this part of the state. The farmers are able to utilize this stuff. And you get up into the bigger up in the flatland, bigger farmers, they don't have any of that because everybody does their own. But
Right.
down here, it works out for us to provide that service to farmers. And it's
Oh, we'll take your request under consideration.
all right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who are you with?
Recycling department.
Solid waste.
Solid Waste? You're last.
Hey.
And you're with?
And
She's
I guess we can do
She's paying to replace
Gee, okay. I've never met you. Good to meet you.
Chris Hammond.
You notice how he told you he's good to meet you, right?
What?
No.
I've never met you either.
That's what she said. You
I am the least.
Good to meet you.
Everyone tells me I'm the least liked department, okay? So we'll just go with that.
All right, so my, last year we cut a lot of things, and the year before we cut several things, but we haven't been able to do that this year with everything going up the way. Well, we can't buy stuff anymore for what we did. In Cume Bridge, we raised the paint from 200 to 400. We've got a couple bridges that our consultant has told us need to be painted. Culverts from 30,000 to 60,000, because in November of last year, culverts raised 214%, and concrete from 30,000 to 40,000 because the price of concrete's went up. Then in the local road and street budget, stone from 300,000 to 350,000 because that goes up every year. Stone does. New equipment, we were trying to raise that from 30,000 to 70,000. We've got to upgrade our mowing equipment. We've repaired on that for years, and it's just wore out. We're going to have to get some new mowers. In the MVH restricted fund, I would like to raise the temporary seasonal from $15 to $16 an hour for 20 weeks a year. Culverts from 60,000 to 100,000 because of the price increase. Bituminous from 100,000 to 200,000. We'll use this money for community crossings match next year, hopefully. Road signs, 8,000 to 10,000. Road signs have went up quite a bit, and it takes forever to get any when you order them.
You don't make any of your own, Steve?
The only things we make are those green signs with the
Green
names on them.
spirals?
Yeah, that's the only ones that we're able to make ourselves.
I didn't know how big a oven you had.
Yeah.
We laughing, David.
I just can't imagine making signs. I don't know.
Gas from 100,000 to 200,000. This year we took a fixed price, and diesel's like $2.40 something a gallon. We've been very lucky on that this year, but of course the first year when we have to redo it, it's not going to be that price. It's going to be probably $5 or more a gallon. So we figured we better double that. Regular MVH fund, temporary seasonal from 11 to 12. That's ones we get to do the weed eating and washing and waxing vehicles and stuff like that. Paint from 100 to 200. We need to paint some truck. We got some truck beds that need to be painted, and lumber from 100 to 200 because we have to replace the sideboards on the trucks. Salt from 20,000 to 30,000. Salt went up. I just got the email today from NDOT. The salt took a pretty good jump, and we were down a little bit. We didn't have our building full, and
Did you use much salt this past winter?
we used more than well, these little snows seems like they take almost as much as a big one.
Well, the big forecast sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, we had a stockpile anyway coming into it, didn't we?
Oh, yeah. Well, last winter, when we went into last winter, we had our building full, which that's the first time we'd ever had that problem. But we don't have that now. We need to, we'd like to get it back full again if we can, and the salt went up, so I don't know if we'll be able to or not. Solid waste from 1,800 to 2,000. This is used for our dumpster, tire disposal, and charges for pumping out the floor drain. Tires from 30,000 to 35,000. That's tires, of course, like everything else, went up again. And gas from 90,000 to 100,000 because of the price increases. Insurance, $101,274 to $276,082. We were asked to put in a 10% increase, and we used to take some of this money out of Sir and Wheel, and because of the new software system, we're not allowed to do that, so we have to take it all out of these two accounts. Equipment repair from 15,000 to 140,000. We had to combine. we used to have equipment repair and vehicle repair. This new software system, we had to, everything went into one fund now. So it's all one thing. Software maintenance from $1,700 to $2,500. We have a maintenance agreement with on our copier and our software program, and we have to pay all computer maintenance out of this as well. Sewer and wheel from bituminous, $150,000 to $175,000. This is to cover part of the community crossings match and to purchase all for our patchers. That's all I have.
Steve, I got a question regarding, you talked about maybe having to buy some new mowers.
Yeah.
Would it be feasible to buy on contract? Is any company that's willing to do that?
What we've been doing is, we've checked into that, and I didn't think it was that good of a deal, but on our mowers, we've just been buying them straight out. The tractors, we've been trying to buy used tractors, try to find a good used tractor somewhere because of all the emissions problems with them. So we've been pretty lucky with that, but of course, they all got more time on them every year, so we got.
I just thought maybe that was a possibility.
Yeah, we'd looked into that, and we just didn't think it would work good for us.
You guys are the ones using it.
Yeah.
What kind of seed you buying for $50?
Seed, when we replace a bridge or anything, we have to go seed the area.
Grass seed?
Well, it's not just grass seed. The last bridge we built out there at Saddle Lake, Forest Service owned property on one side, so they regulated what we had to buy our seed for that bridge.
I just didn't believe that you could, buy much for $50.
No, you can't. The seed for that bridge was $750.
That's what
But-
you can't buy a bag of fescue,
Right.
fescue.
Yeah, that's what it's in there for, is if we'd have to, if it's in a certain area where it's private property on both sides, we can get by with just throwing some handful of seed out there and go on. But
Like you did at mine.
no, no,
I just seen that on there and I was just interested.
yeah.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Thanks for all you do, buddy.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have solid waste.
Well, I thought you were getting up to talk, so I thought
You're done, aren't you? We're just enjoying the show.
They're gonna stay and see what happens now. Okay, so I am Chris Wheeler, and I am representing Perry County Solid Waste and Recycling Department. So, you guys have the budget, I believe. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. I will point out that yes, our budget is increased, but we also had some things going on, like everyone else, fuel, our tipping fees, and them taking our solid waste, our garbage to Owensboro, we now pay $120 in fuel surcharges. So that was part of why we increased on that. The health insurance went down because I do not take the insurance that is available. I have my own. So that is one of the big jumps. It was about $4,000.
David, I've got a question. It's my understanding technically we do not have anything other than to okay their budget because we do not provide any county government money. This is all
because
Correct.
The only reason why we are adopting these is because they are appointed and not elected.
Right.
So.
So I mean, we're self-sufficient, but we have to come up here and do this, and there's no problem with that.
It's because they're not elected.
Right, and
So.
Also, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was painless, right?
Thank you.
Thank you. You guys have a good night. Enjoy. And I'm sorry about my phone going off. I had it low, but now
I didn't hear it.
And I have a 3-year-old granddaughter that likes to call me in the evening. Thank
So
you.
If there are no other comments on the budget, we now have to have the first reading.
You ain't gonna read this whole book, sorry.
Yes, I am.
It has to.
I gotta go.
Me too.
I gotta go too, but
I was in the hallway.
So read fast.
Okay. This is the first reading of the 2023 budget request. Clerk of Circuit Court, $209,345. County Auditor, $217,321. Treasurer, $128,186. Recorder, $107,239. County Sheriff, $639,950. County Surveyor, $10,374. County Coroner, $41,204. County Assessor, $129,055. Prosecuting Attorney, $76,656. Extension Service, $148,355. Veteran Service, $32,823. County Council, $40,181. Election Board, $71,700. Commissioners, $2,874,401. Animal Shelter, $35,000. Planning and Zoning, $35,516. Courthouse, $140,491. Circuit Court, $637,830. Emergency Management, $154,570. Jail, $562,492. 4D Child Support, $116,006. Soil Conservation, $40,903. Parks and Recreation, $132,190, for a total of County General of $6,582,788. Now we go to Health Department Fund, $286,279. Cumulative Bridge Fund, $366,900. Property Reassessment 2015, $120,636. Cumulative Capital Development, $237,815. Local Income Tax Special Legislation Detention Center, $65,000. Clerk's Record Perpetuation, $3,900. Sales Disclosure, County Share, $5,218. Emergency Planning Right to Know, $3,767. Enhanced Access, $27,120. Identification Security Protection, $2,700. Local Road and Street, $420,000. Local Income Tax Public Safety County Share, Sheriff is $162,201. Commissioners is $952,619. Jail is $256,409 for a total of $1,371,229 for local income tax public safety. Motor Vehicle Highway Restricted Administration, $73,740. Motor Vehicle Highway Restricted Maintenance and Repair, $706,866. Motor Vehicle Highway Restricted General and Undistributed, $474,000. Highway Administration, $112,990. Motor Vehicle Highway Maintenance and Repair, $308,866. Motor Vehicle Highway General and Undistributed, $886,107, for a total of Motor Vehicle Highway of $2,562,589. Plat Book Fund, $11,575. Riverboat County Share, Commissioners, $3,400. Courthouse, $20,000. County Auditor Data Pit Stop Data, $4,000. Section Violent Offender Sheriff, $1,350. Supplemental Public Defender, $3,650. Corner Perpetuation Surveyor, $4,500. County Election Official Training Clerk, $900. County Election Official Training Auditor, $900. County Election Official Training Treasurer, $900. County Election Official Training Recorder, $900. County Election Official Training Surveyor, $900, for a total of $4,500 for training for those county election officers. Statewide 9/11, $283,000. Local Impact PSAP Dispatch, $220,000. Supplemental Adult Probation, $75,564. Jury Fee, $3,000. Pretrial Diversion, $84,462. Surplus Surtax and Wheel Tax, $225,000. Jail Operations, $295,514. Inmate Housing, Sheriff, $28,327. Jail, $42,000, for a total of inmate housing, $70,327. Perry County Recycling Management, $543,344. Airport Authority, $51,870. Airport Authority Cumulative Building, $186,667. That concludes the first reading of the 2023 budget.
You did an amazing job, David.
And we have coming up,
Fine job.
all-day budget sessions. Tuesday, September 27th, Wednesday, September 28th, and each day starts at 8 a.m. and Thursday, September 29th. Hopefully that won't be all day. And our budget adoption will be Wednesday, October 19th. And our next regular meeting is September 22nd, in which we also have a public hearing on modification of our local income tax at 5 o'clock with our meeting following that day. So at this time,
Do you bring chicken in for the budget hearing?
I bring in donuts.
What about lunch?
You're on your own.
You're on your own.
You can barbecue chicken, like JC's used to do.
There's only 2 JCs up there.
It's true. So at this point, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That's the first vote of the night. The ayes have it.
Or
Susie,
first
thank you.
5-0.
Quite welcome.
Well, y'all gonna compare minutes?
Oh, good job, Dave.
Y'all gonna compare minutes?
No, we have different ones.
I gotta lock up the
Oh, you was
courthouse.
you was taking minutes of me and she was taking minutes of the rest of them.